One of your fellow number just looked at me and said, "Slow down, Will." So I guess I look frenetic and crazy. But one of the practices I've started is I usually try to take all this off and then put it all back on, and I've just determined I'm not going to do that anymore. You know, but I won't. Hopefully I won't spill coffee on it. So, good morning. It's great to be with you all on this beautiful day. I'm just going to do a quick sort of housekeeping things and then introduce these two wonderful people to you all, who many of you know them just as long as I've known them. So thank you to everyone who was here last week when we talked about the annual giving campaign. That is going strong, and lots of opportunities to remain involved in that in the coming weeks. The next one of that is this coming Wednesday during the Wednesday night supper, and Heidi and Monica will be there as well. A couple other ways that you can get to know them. They still have times in the cafe that you can sign up to be with them. That's all in the e-Spirit. And as John mentioned in the previous service, Heidi will be reflecting at the Celtic service tonight. It's a full day for them. And then after the Celtic service, the three of us are going to be doing the confirmation session with about 38 ninth graders. So, yes, abundant life going on at St. Stephen's. And an abundant day, very long day indeed also. And Monica will be in the pulpit next Sunday, and they'll be involved at the weekly Bible study, meeting with the outreach committee. And so if you can't find a time to be with them, that's a regularly scheduled program. Just be in touch with myself or anyone on staff, and we'll get you connected. Heidi and Monica are friends of mine well before I knew any of you all. We spent about 3 weeks together in South Africa in 2008, and a wonderful synergy of the Holy Spirit came back together here at St. Stephen's some years ago. So without further ado, on to them. Please welcome them.
Well, good morning, everybody, for all those who know us and for all of you who are getting to know us. We have been missionaries supported by St. Stephen's for more than 14 years, 15 years. So we are delighted, as usual, to come back and to report not so much what we have done, but what God has done on us through the people we serve. And as you know, we are today the first speakers in this series of speakers that St. Stephen has organized. And the topic is life in, it is faith in the public life. Well, we got lucky to be the first ones because the next ones are very good speakers that we will never match. So I invite you to come to the two next ones that they will be fantastic. But since we are the first ones, I would like to share with you what is faith in the public life for us. And it's very simple. It's what we heard today in the gospel. We heard very clearly that the Lord answered to the famous questions, what we should do. He says, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. So we know that the coins that belongs to the Caesar is mint with the face of the Caesar. We know that our quarters, our bills, our franklins have some faces that represent our estate. But too, we need to know and go back to the coins of the kingdom. We all know we have coins for the kingdoms. And in the same way that the coins have the face of our founding fathers, of significant people in American history, we have in the coins, on the coins of the kingdom, the human faces of all those who are our brothers and sisters. Sometimes, you know how it is, when we need coins or we look for quarters, we check in our pockets. We even have to go back to the cup holder in the car And there because we use it less and less. So I will share with you that we have the fantastic opportunity to have those coins with us always, the coins of the kingdom, that have, as the old book of Genesis says, the face of God, because humans, we are made in God's image. And so when people ask, what do you do as missionary living in the public life? The only thing we do is make sure that those faces, those human faces, are clear, are neat, and we help to restore the dignity of all those who were given to us as companions in the journey. We have been serving now for 7 years in the very north of Argentina, almost in the border with Bolivia. We are so close that we are only 40 kilometers, maybe 30, some 25 miles from Bolivia, and we are very far from the state capital. But it is in those margins, in those places on the side of the road, where we have been invited to journey with the people of God. And how do we live our faith? Very simple. We just open a little center, as I say. We have changed the corner for a center, one C for other C. The corner is always a problem when young people, children, communities don't have a place that belongs to them. And in the corners, many things happen. So how do we change the corner? We open a little center, a center where we may provide breakfast or lunch or snacks, but we are not a soup kitchen or a feeding program, where we provide support for homework, for enrollment in a school, but we are not an after-school program, where we offer therapeutical activities, therapies through the psychologists or the social workers who are available, but we are not a mental or a health institution. What we are is just that simple house that is in the community where young people could be young people, children could be children, women could be women, and at the same time, we offer that safe space that we all need to reveal ourselves. So when you are now seeing this loop of pictures in which you will see children playing, children at the swings, you may see some doing homework, some of them cooking, some of them walking. What we do is basically that, create a space for inclusion. That is what we all long at the end of the day. We long to be included in our school group, in our work group, in our church group, inclusion, to be part and to have a sense of belonging. And that sense of belonging is what roots us. Is what Jesus did. He gave a sense of belonging to all those who were in the margins. Is what Jesus did with us. He has given us a sense of belonging to something bigger, that is the church, something bigger that is our parishes, something bigger that are our small groups where we are able to get together. So when someone says, how do we live faith in the public life? Like the coins. Sometimes we have to look for them. They may be lost in the cup holder of the car, at the very end of our pocket or our purse, or who knows, maybe in some drawer, but they are always there. And it is our great pleasure and our great invitation to go look for them and to make sure that face is crystal clear, like when a new penny or a new quarter comes to us. We all like it because it's brand new and it's very shiny. We make sure that the kingdom of God has many of these coins. And that is what we do. That is how we live life, faith in public life. But it's not very different than how we live faith in the public life here. How St. Stephen's lives faith in the public life here. Because the same way we all try to restore the dignity of those faces that are minted in our coins, we do the same as parish and as community. We may be serving in the East End, supporting an after-school program. We may help out, like the young people is doing now with Caritas and collecting the cleaning things for the homeless. We may be doing helping with the reconstruction of homes like we have done in the past. But too, sometimes, and many times, we contribute to that fresh face of the other when we open our small groups, when we embrace a friend that, or a colleague that may be going through a very rough time, when we embrace the mother who feels sometimes a little bit exhausted with all the duties she has, when we embrace our friend who is sick, when we embrace other friends that may feel lonely, we all know that. And we, many times, have been the face of that coin when someone else has embraced us in our small groups here at St. Stephen, may have embraced us in a peace sharing at the Eucharist, may have embraced us as they have coffee with us. So life in the public view is not very different from the life we live inside us. God has given us a new dignity through our baptism, through our covenant with Him. And He's inviting us, and we have that privilege, to do the same for the other. And so what you will see now here are all these, the faces of all the coins. But I would like to invite you, when you get home, look for those coins that you may have lost in some drawer, in some jar, in the cup holder of the car, and go back and remember what you have done for others, because you too hold the coins of the kingdom. And if you have one, look, you may have two. Look again, you may have three. And that is faith in the public life. You have those coins that you have because you live your faith in daily life. It's nothing extravagant or some kind of excellence. It's what you do every day, what you do opening the doors of your home for a friend who is sick, for a mother who needs help. When we go out to have a coffee with someone who is experiencing loneliness or sadness. And it's too when we celebrate with the others. I think faith in the public, live in the public life is very easy because it's very simple. We have to go back to the essential of the gospel. God has made us in His own image, and He has made the other in His own image. So as we recognize that, we all dance in this public life because we are all one side of the same coin. And as I was telling you, we changed the corner for the center. We have been working very hard, and right now we have 3 Cs, two centers and a small club. In each center that are located maybe 20 kilometers apart, people have the chance to come to experience through different activities that experience and that sense of belonging. Now we are currently serving more or less 400 people direct assistance, but that doesn't mean there is a reverberation. This is the people who comes to the center, the young people, the mothers, the children, but we have too many that they no longer come because they no longer need it. And I think that is the key, that the same way we don't need to have a full house, we need people who pass, acquire the tools that they need to feel included, to have this sense of belonging, and they can fly into the world. And we all know the stories of poverty, unemployment, lack of access to water and sanitation, opportunities of studies, but too, we more and more need to tell the stories. There must be few, or not so few if we start counting, of all those who have the chance to have the experience of feeling included, and they run, they grab it, and now they are out, living their life that is the life of God. And I think the nicest thing I would like to tell you, maybe 2 or 3 stories, very simple. There is a young woman, now she's 19, we will call her Amalia. Amalia came to us when she was 16 years old with a heavy weight. During her time with us, before and during her time with us, she attempted to commit suicide 3 times. But it was through the work and the companionship of her own group. She became part of a group of young women that will meet regularly every Tuesday, and they will start talking about what was going on in their life, and they will have more experiences. And this Amelia, this year, was able to pass the test and qualify to enter nursing school in university. So when you see how what may seem a coin that is a little bit dusty, that may have some much of dirt, turns into this freshly mint coin because it was so many who embraced her. We have 3 girls, 3 young women that came from a very rough story. An absent mother, unknown father, extreme poverty. But 2 of them are now studying to be teachers. And the other one, Maria, she is working as a child care worker with us at the center. She is helping young girls that, the same like when she came, struggle with life, but they have the dream of many things to come. And the last one is Alex, a young man who we received when he was 15, 16, and had 2 very difficult circumstances. But he has been able to finish his high school, getting his GED degree, and now he's working with the young ones too, fostering their sense of independence, fostering their sense of accomplishment. And these very simple 3 stories give us a sense of what is God capable to develop if we create the safe spaces. That is what we all do, is what you do here in St. Stephen's, is what you do here outside St. Stephen in the outreach programs, is what we all, member of Christ's body, do when we look at those coins and we realize that the coins of the kingdom has the face of our brothers and sisters, and that is the treasure we have.
So we've left lots of time for Q&A and conversation. So, all right, Jack. Here, yeah, hold on. You know the drill, man. I know you're so.
How many dialects are there? Is it basic Spanish or are there?
Well, we live in a very peculiar part of the country where there are still many what we may call First Nations or indigenous people. And so in some areas, some people still keep the Quechua, that is a previous language that was part of the Inca Empire, but everybody speaks Spanish because of school and because it's the language. There are small pockets of Guarani indigenous people, the Guaranis. You may remember a very old movie called The Mission, zillion of years ago. I had black hair then. Well, it's that same people that you see in the movies. The Guaranis are in our area. They keep more traditions than the Quechuas, but they too use, as you know, Spanish, and the younger generations slowly, very few keep. You know, it's like anything.
I learned Spanish first first in New York, then in Buenos Aires, so that has a particular accent. And when I went to Jujuy, oh my goodness, I didn't understand anything. People were speaking. 7 years on, I'm still struggling because the accent is very different, although it's the same language. There's a very different accent.
But you know, like anything, language of the heart and of the care speaks by itself. And so, yes, we overcome even those difficulties. Thank you, Jack.
Question back here.
Are you doing anything with the young adults and kind of middle age for like parenting, learning to for parenting, or dealing with anything on that level?
Okay, we work what we call, we had a little program that is called ESI, in which we try to provide not only basic or what used to be called sexual education, but to provide a holistic approach. So in that sense, it has to do with the respect of their own body, the respect of the body of the other, work with violence, work against all the circumstances that may bring violence, even to relationships. And yeah, we work on these topics as part of the process of inclusion, because but before that we work on feelings and emotions. That is the first step to work. We are humans, we have feelings and emotions, and sometimes those feelings and emotions may trigger behaviors or may stop behaviors, so we work around that. And certainly we work trying that to have less and less young mothers. We really believe that the response to that is providing opportunities. When what you see, what we see through our windows in our homes is what we see of the world. If we see through the windows of our homes our nice garden, the quiet, the birds, that is what comes to us. But if we live in neighborhoods where the only possibility is to be a young mother, we need to work toward bringing that there are other possibilities. And as you know, sometimes we don't opt for things because we didn't know the option was there. So we work in something we call to open the repertoire of options, not only regarding family, is opportunities for better schooling, opportunities for dialogue and understanding. So we work on that, basically offering that repertoire of opportunities in which you learn to choose. That is what we do. Yes.
Oh, May, hold on.
Here we are.
So I saw in one of the slides a picture of a gentleman in his priestly robe. And so I'm asking, are you responsible for a weekly or service, Episcopal service? Are you working with a parish down there?
What we do, we believe that, as I say, that center, a little club, and what we call chapel, other C. And what we call chapel is not necessarily the chapel like we know, but is offering spiritual experiences because we have children maybe from other denominations, maybe from independent churches. But we offer all the possibility to recognize God's love to them and to the other. And yes, we offer those opportunities. The same workers are encouraged, and they are part of that, fostering especially the leadership of lay people who could lead prayers, who could lead moments of gratitude, because we believe that if we foster the call that all lay people has through baptism, that is how we will create a very strong opportunity to build the body of Christ.
So you offer it, the people come?
Yes, and people come. And we offer, yes.
I was just going to mention, you might have seen too the words ermitas, and that is part of one of our programs where we have created space for people to come and rest in God in a very simple place, but there are rooms where if people wanted to go on retreat or just come for a couple of hours in the day, especially people who may not have the capacity financially to take a retreat, we offer a space where anyone can come and just be and rest in God. And from that space, also the children, the older ones can come, our staff come for care of the caregiver, and we offer a few retreats in the year and centering prayer. It's a space where people are welcome to rest in God.
We have a very simple story. As I told you, we have created a very simple club. That is the club where not all the athletic people go. Maybe the chubby girl who could not run too far with the hockey stick. Maybe the little boy that has some kind of speech impairment. Well, those who will never have a club, they have a club. And don't ask me how. We participate in some local championship. And the group of 12 to 14, they won their zone in the tournament. And they came with, how can I say, it was kind of a diploma that they won. They came immediately, and there is an image of Jesus and Mary, and they went and they put it there. Was the best offertory. What we do every Sunday. And on top of Mary, because they say they offer that. So is that we did other offertory. And something important that is very nice is the birthdays. We are used to celebrate our birthday. We did it and we do it with others. But sometimes birthdays are not an occasion for celebration for many. Maybe many of them never ever had that celebration. So we have a lot of birthday cakes. And you have to, sometimes it's very difficult even to translate their prayers, but the deep gratitude for being alive and the things they receive that comes, because it's the most important part when we say, I don't know, today is Pedro's celebration, is okay, I will be able to say the thank you prayer today. And that is so well prepared that we will prepare a speech for some big event. And it is like that. And so we have these small miracles that, as I say, is church in other venue. We may eat instead of our sacred bread is other bread. Instead of these beautiful hymns we have, maybe other songs, but there is always a table where they are all sitting and where they all experience that through God's love, they are one. Yeah. Yeah.
Heidi touched on this a bit. I think that you were saying that you offer safe space and love to all people, but your mission seems to be more focused on girls and women. Um, what is the involvement of the boys, young men? Is there any group that serves them
Yeah.
or focuses on groups?
Yeah, maybe it's true what you say. We talk about women and girls. We talk a lot because it's very difficult to get them out of their homes and to come and to participate. We have a lot of young boys, small children, and young men. And we have many of those groups. You will see sometimes that there are many of those boys. And we work especially with them, fostering their sense of belonging and giving them tools to raise to their potential, because we believe that the only way to fight gender issues, violence, discrimination, whatever social issue that we encounter, we have to start at this very tender age and build, like we build a house. First, we get the plot, we do the foundations, and we put slowly bricks on bricks. And we work very hard with that. We even recently we did a couple of workshops regarding mental health, especially caring for our own life and recognizing how good we are. Because it was a way, as you know, sometimes suicide becomes like an option. So, and I have to say, it was well attended by the boys, by the young boys, the young men, and that was a very good thing. We divided them by genders, but only because sometimes it's easy to generate that the word could circulate. But we work too. What happens sometimes, girls and young teens or young adult women, they tend to stay at home because it's the place that was given to them. So that's what we work the most, is to try them to cross the homes, get into the center or get into any other activities and slowly develop their potential.
Here first.
This may be a little off subject, but do you see any positive or negative influence from the local or national government on what you're trying to do?
Okay. The question is if we see any negative influence, or positive. We have worked very hard to try to network with local and federal government, trying to show that this is a model of care in which this is like a little train with an engine going and the cars behind, and that they can join the train that is already going. And if they miss the train, they miss the train. But we offer them, we always present it this way. We as church and as community of faith, we have 2,000 years of being in territory, trying to make this train move, and it will continue. And if they want to join, we are delighted. And we could, they could help out like we did. We access to 3 grants in different moments for food parcels and to, work towards food security. And right now, we negotiate with the federal government a small grant for equipment. So we have tried to create different workshops that will help the care and start introducing the care of the environment. So we will have a small workshop on carpentry and a small workshop on preserves and jams and on those things. So in these small workshops, we have network with the government to provide, to have access to the funds to provide for equipment. So, and what we do, we find the teachers, we organize the classes and all those other things. We try to always that we give to the Caesars what belongs to Caesar and God's to be what belongs to God. And so, but if the Caesar wants to drop a coin, we open the bag and bring it to God. Is what we do. Great question. No, on the contrary, it's me. They say, they must see us coming and say, okay, there come these ladies asking us for money again. Yes, very good.
One back here.
I understand your program's primary for the kids and the women, but when you have the culture in itself where, the men kind of are the rule, what are you doing to change, first off, to teach, for education-wise, to change their way they treat the women, their mind thoughts, looking at more equality and acceptance versus tolerance?
Yeah, very good question. We all confront in all societies these not only patriarchal societies, but very entrenched entitlement from men. But how do we work? We work at a very early age, and that's why we work with women and girls, because really mother has a very important role opening her own voice to these values. So that's why where do we learn to be patriarchal, or where do we learn this machista culture? Is at home. So we need, and who is always at home? Mama. So that's why we work with mama, because it is that way. We have to help that all the children are treated equally, and we need to work too with girls and boys. It's not only working with girls or only working with boys, it's working with both of them together. Because in this has to do with, we know even today that it has to do about creating spaces, safe spaces where we all experience that we are one and that we are equal. But it's only through the experience, sharing spaces together, learning that we are all equal is through experience. When we have the games, I don't know, maybe there are 3 volleyball games, 3 girls, 3 boys, 3 boys, 3 girls, is through experience. It's not, we may have a curricula, we may have some workshop, but it's the experience. It's the experience who have teach us to be open-minded. It's our own experience who has teach us to care for the other. So we work a lot in that these young men, these young women, these mothers, they have this experience that we are all equal. And of course, it will take many centuries. We just started.
We have time for one more question, if there is one. All right. Well, as I said, there are lots of other chances to be with these two in slightly smaller settings than 100 people. And can we thank them again for their work on our behalf?
Maybe we can just close with a little, very short song. You are holy, my Lord, in Spanish. Tu es santo, Señor. No, in Spanish. Tu es santo, Señor. Tu es santo. 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 You are holy, my Lord. You are holy. You are holy, my Lord. You are holy. You are holy, my Lord. You are holy. You are holy, my Lord. You are holy.